You're listening to the Dollop on the All Things Comedy Network. This is not a great start. This is a bilingual American history podcast where each week I, Dave Anthony, read a story in Spanish to Gareth Reynolds, who listens in English.
That's right. I translate the words in my head, and this is Gareth Reynolds, who has no idea what this topic will be about.
I don't either.
We got there. That's going to be a problem.
What?
We're breaking form this week. Dave hasn't read it either.
Yeah. So neither. I don't have a story.
All right. So let's start with the ads, and then we'll get into it. And I have a plan on how to get us out of this.
Ow.
We'll just alternate every other word.
Like, what's that called? Like a fire drill? What is that called when people tell a story to each other? No, I'm not.
Okay.
What is that?
Here's what we're going to do. I'm asking you to
shoelace.
leave the show.
We do a shoelace.
Leave the show.
We're going to do it.
I'll handle
It's
this.
called, I remember what it's called. Hot Shoelace. You're listening to Hot Shoelace.
Oh, my God. This is not okay.
Oh, I should hit the music.
Jesus, God.
Well, now the phone went away.
Oh, my, the phone didn't go away. What an old person thing to say. Oh, the phone went away again.
It's playing. It's not playing? What the fuck?
On a 5-part coefficient.
Would you like it louder? It's what we call a hot shoelace.
Is that good?
Best part? The volume?
It was too low. Now it's too low. It's done? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. How are your ears?
It's not been a good episode so far.
Luckily, I have a cold, so my ears are not great.
You have a COVID?
Cold?
I have a cold, yeah.
This guy has COVID over here.
Just love the way that the world works.
They just
now.
people just slip in and,
Yeah,
oh, by the way,
no,
I have a
know.
cold.
Yeah, it's like a name drop. People disease drop now. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I was sniffling because I had a cold. But do you understand what I was saying about traffic? I'm done. I'm not done. I can't handle colds. Look,
Dave
he
always
deserves to be branded with an I.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you.
So listen,
Infirmed.
what?
Huh?
We are brought to you in part by Freshly. Right? So, you know, a guy like me, I like to have an easy meal situation. I don't like to have a lot of stuff I got to put together and
You don't need to say any more other than
nice
when you
and
said
simple,
put
Daddy.
together. Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Nice and simple, Daddy.
Your new nickname is Daddy.
I do. No, considering how you feel about your father, you're not calling me Daddy.
Sup? Look, so Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals that you can put in your face and eat them. Mm-hmm. They come fresh to your door. No cooking, like I said. That's the whole jam.
Yep.
No cooking. So you don't have to grocery shop and do all that stuff where you get the different pieces to put together in a pot.
Settle it down.
Yeah, your meals come. They're cooked. They're fresh every week. You can just keep the fridge stocked. They don't have to go in the freezer, and you don't have to go to the store.
Right.
Ordering's very easy. You just go to freshly.com. They got over 30 delicious, really good meals. Steak peppercorn, which I know you're a big fan of steak. Mm-hmm. Sausage baked penne. Chicken pesto bowl. I had that.
They sent me some vegetarian ones.
Good.
Put your finger down. Great.
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So look, it can fit your lifestyle. You know, everyone's got different stuff, dietary needs, preferences, tastes, family sizes, all that. So right now, our listeners can get Freshly for just $6.16 a meal. So get on it. Your meals are always delivered fresh. They're not frozen, like I said, and they're ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. Boom! So right now, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/dollop. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/dollop for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/dollop for $40 off your first 2 orders.
Yes.
Now, we are also brought to you in part by Gareth's favorite.
My baby.
What? How do you know?
I know because it's my jam. It's Jose and I. It's our thing. It's our ad. It's my ad.
We're brought to you by Paint Your Life.
Oh, Paint Your Life and I and Jose. We are one.
I mean, so look, so if you're a guy and you have a cat or you like other people, mostly for a guy and his cat, I guess, you go to paintyourlife.com, right? And
yes.
And then there it is. It's basically you give them a picture and they paint it. You get a
It's so
professional.
much more than that, Dave.
Okay, well, go ahead.
It's so much more than that. It's a way to preserve. All right, think about how saturated we are with photos. There's no meaning anymore to photos. You take a photo of everything. So if you can take one of your favorite photos and make it a painting, it elevates its importance. And I didn't think I was going to have a life-changing moment when I got one of my son Jose, but it changed me. You can see the paint strokes, comes framed, you go back and forth with them, making sure that like it's all good. Shows up, and then you just have a painting of your cat on a bench. It just works, people. It works.
All right, so it's a quick and easy process. You get a hand-painted portrait in about 3 weeks. It makes a perfect birthday, anniversary, wedding gift. It's very meaningful, as you can hear. It's very personal. It can be cherished forever,
Yes.
basically.
It's my background when I record things now.
That's right. So at yourpaintlife.com, there's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, guaranteed. And right now is a limited time offer. Get 20% off your painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping. To get this special offer, text the word Dollop to 64-000. That's Dollop to 64-000. Text Dollop to 64-000. Paint your life. Celebrate the moments that matter most. Did I mention text Dollop to 64-000?
That's right. That's right.
And we're also brought to you in part by Squarespace. Squarespace, of course, a website, domain, analytical tools, online store marketing tools. They got it all. I've been working with Squarespace for over a decade now, and we have our websites with them. We got the Dollop website. We got the Dollop Sources website. We're in.
My website, your website, all the websites.
100%. I first started working with Squarespace because they have super clean templates. It is super easy to use.
Yeah.
You don't have to like update some website, garbage. It's all there for you, and they have everything you want. If you want to sell stuff, you want to do subscriptions, you want to do extensions, and all the information you want, all the analytics. They got 24/7 customer support.
They're there for you.
And it looks good. I mean, that's the most important thing, I think, with a website. It looks good. It works good. So look, check out squarespace.com/Dollop for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code Dollop to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
That's right.
And we're also brought to you in part by Ritual. A lot of people taking vitamins. It's a thing that's happening out there. Yeah. Most people don't know what's in their vitamin.
It's true.
And you should know, because there could be like little pieces of cat or
I'm not opposed to that vitamin, but I get the point.
Dirt. It could be anything in there. Pieces of tire.
Dirt.
So look, Ritual is like, what if everybody knows what's in their vitamin? They got a clean, vegan-friendly multivitamin. It's formulated with high-quality nutrients in bioavailable forms that your body can actually use.
Yes.
As opposed to whatever you're doing. I know you do this.
Yes. So relax.
I take Ritual. Gareth takes Ritual. I like the taste.
I think you just called me Gareth, but that's okay.
Did I?
Yep.
Whatever. Gareth takes his. I take mine. I like the taste.
I do too. It's like it goes down, gives you a mint kick.
That's right. And I feel good. I like to run around.
Yep.
It's part of my activity.
Okay.
Like I said, they're traceable, so you always know what nutrients you're taking and where they come from, thanks to their one-of-a-kind visible supply chain. And Ritual is designed with your life stage in mind. Women, men, teens, they're scientifically developed to support different life stages. So check it out. Get key nutrients without BS. Ritual's offering our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/Dollop to start your ritual today. Hey, Aaron, where did you go?
To get more Kleenex?
Oh, so it's so you're in the throes of this.
This guy's really gonna kill us.
It's right. Sort of. Sort of. That is the right thing.
Okay, so we are going on tour. We've just announced some U.S. dates. Right now, tickets are on sale for Vegas, Salt Lake City, Denver, San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego. We're still waiting on the Phoenix link. I don't know what's going on there. But go to our dolloppodcast.com tour page, and there you'll find everything. We're also going to be on tour in Australia, Perth, Adelaide, Canberra, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Auckland, Wellington. That's New Zealand.
Yes, that is. I've just discovered that. Yeah, so join us for all those shows. We'll be back. Dave, will be doing some stand-up comedy. Next weekend, I will be in Madison, Wisconsin, July 22nd through the 25th at Comedy on State. August 5th, I'll be at CB Live in Phoenix, Arizona. August 6th through the 8th, I'll be at the Improv in Raleigh, North Carolina. August 19th, Hyenas in Dallas. August 20th, the State Theater in Austin, Texas. August 21st, the Rec Room in Houston, Texas. August 26th, Spokane Comedy Club in Spokane, Washington. And August 27th, Tacoma Comedy Club. Go to GarethReynolds.com for ticket links and other information. And
I was using the camera.
Yeah, I noticed. It's a
advantage.
podcast. Most people listen.
1580.
Whoa. All righty.
Year of our Lord, Jesus Cristo. Syphilis became the worst epidemic.
Wow. Hello. Good morning.
Coming in hot.
Hi.
Hot. Syphilis became the worst epidemic in Europe since the Black Death.
Well,
Take that, Black Death.
Yeah, Black Death. I mean, honestly, they were like, look, the last name was kind of a downer.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go with something a little more rhythmic.
The thing about the Black Death is, I mean, maybe you could get it fucking, but at least syphilis, you're like, yeah, I had one good.
Syphilis was 100% fucking.
Yeah, syphilis is fucking. You don't
All
get syphilis.
fucking.
I guess you could get it maybe from a blowy. I think they call it a medical term, blowy.
Medically speaking, you had a blowjob.
Maybe you could get it. Maybe there's other ways to get it. No, I think it has to be an exchange of fluids. I think you got to get the.
But could I go buy a fella's fluids and drink them?
Wait, what's happening?
Let's say I was to go down to the, go see the
You go to
cum monger, and go down to his little shop and.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of cum mongers back then.
Boy, we're a cum family.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Let's go from the top and back. All right, go ahead. We're dark early. Go, baby.
So in London, the hospitals are just packed with just syphilitic patients. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's no antibiotics, so it just runs rampant through your body, really, no matter what you try.
And you sort of Mr. Potato Head, basically, right? Like, the pieces start falling off.
But it's worse
you lose
than
a
that.
nose, an ear. Yeah, but that's like part of it.
Yeah, no, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Pieces fall off. So they have open sores. They have terrible rashes. You go blind. You can get dementia.
Sure.
And you go bald in like a patchy bald way.
So very potato heady.
It's sexy.
Yeah.
So baldness.
It sucks that when you're at your hottest, you can't screw.
Right?
Vexing.
So baldness sweeps across Europe because of syphilis.
Okay.
And a lack of hair isn't just a bummer. It's also an indication that you could have STD. So if you're just a bald dude, people are like, nah.
Wouldn't bang him, Sheila. Wouldn't bang that one. Be very careful with that one.
I won't have him.
No, I wouldn't if I were you. He's got no hair on his head.
That's how I like him. I like him with no hair, no eyes,
Well, then
and
you're
no
about
nose.
to go through a bit of a dry spell, I think. Shouldn't be doing that.
So long hair became a thing. Like long hair was in. It was
okay.
like you're healthy,
Sure.
Baldness really damages your rep.
Okay.
Samuel Pepys wrote, quote, "If my brother lives, he will not be able to show his head, which will be a very great shame to me."
Wow. So your bald brother,
Yeah.
you feel great shame due to him.
Yeah. So syphilis leads to wig making.
It's early and very bizarre. Okay, but that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so because you want to shag, you put a little thing up.
Yeah, people want to hide their shiny syphilitic, dome up there.
But even if you're
and-
not syphilitic, you're just,
Yeah.
it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Right.
The wigs could also be used to hide sores on the face.
So some syphilis people are going undercover as regs, and then some regs are just like, why the fuck can't I have sex?
And then I hate to say this.
So
but-
we've got what we call Saw Wig. This is a new thing I've got, and it's called the Saw Wig. And what it basically is you put a wig upon your saw. Yes, you make it look more like, say, a bit of a mullet or a bit of a shag look, something like that. And if anyone asks what the problem is, you just say, no, I just grow a bunch of different fancy hairstyles. This one's a beehive. And then you've got your regular wig, too. So to be like 9 different wigs, essentially. You've got your head wig, which, by the way, that could be a show. Nip, put a pin in that. And then you've also got your saw wigs. You know, your wigs for your saws to cover them up. So if someone says, sorry, mate, is that a bit of a saw there? You can go, saw? I don't know what you're talking about. This is just a little hairstyle growing out of my chin.
Sorry, what's a show?
No.
You said put a pin in that.
Oh, well, I just have always been thinking of this one idea for a musical.
But
No. I shall not leave the path of the family business. We make saw wigs. Although, when I'm alone at night, I often think about how great a musical could be. Just Hedwig, it's always just come to me. I just see this image, this blonde hair, this larger-than-life character. But every time I'm writing one of my songs, my father comes in and burns it. Anyway, are you interested in any of the Saw
I'm
Wigs?
sorry I came in here.
Yes, of course you are. It's got to be weird, didn't it?
Yes. I just wanted a spot of tea.
Oh, I'm sorry! There's tea shops next door. We're Saw Wigs.
Oh.
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay.
But would you like a musical?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm
you didn't
scared.
like this? Okay, understand. Yeah, sorry, as you were.
So this meant that wigs aren't a style. They're there to hide, your shame, right?
Sure.
They're also called periwigs. I'm not going to call them periwigs, but that's what they call them, periwigs.
Okay.
So in France, the only people who wore wigs were people who were balding, fancy sex workers, like elite,
Sure.
and then obviously people with red hair. Because we're talking about shame.
Whew, it really feels like the arrow turned upon the shooter, didn't it?
But then that changed in 1655 when Louis XIV started going bald.
The Sun King.
Yes. He's 17.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And he's probably has syphilis. That's why he's
Oh,
going
okay.
bald. He probably, because he ends up dying of syphilis. He's just like, at the end, he's just just a body ravaged by syphilis. Dude.
Well, I mean, and for those of you picturing at home, it would be King Potato Head.
That's right, with holes in it.
Yes. Well, that's the potato head.
So he is 17. He became king when he was 4 or something. So he's been king for a while.
Sure. And by the way, that if
Great.
anyone ever wants to make a case against the monarchy, right there, boom, it makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Who's not going to listen to a 4-year-old?
That's
your boss, goddammit.
This is essentially what we always have running America anyway.
That might be. It would be a little freeing. It would be more understandable. We'd be like, come on, he's 4. You understand.
So Louis hires 48 wig makers to make a ton of wigs for him.
Why not get some doctors there too? Wouldn't a doctor or two couldn't hurt the problem, right?
I mean,
spend the whole budget on the wig makers.
Well,
You're still dying of syphilis. It's not, you know what I mean?
But you look so hot. You
Yeah,
got
it's
a big
true.
old
You do.
wig.
Hey, hello, ladies. It's me. The idea is it's a big bald. Could you imagine? Would that not be? Was there a larger faux pas? Me, I've got so much hair. I don't know what to do. My nose. Fuck, my nose is oh no, it's fine. Here. Okay.
You said the fuck of your nose.
No. They're fine.
Lucky.
My tongue fell out. Hey, look how good her hair is. Hey, look how sweet her hair is. You like her hairstyles?
No.
Oh, yeah, my throat. My throat is dropped like a transmission. What? It's throat. Whoo!
So because the president, because the king is wearing wigs, they take off. First they start, the people in the court start wearing them.
People who know you're bold.
Yes, people in the court start wearing them. And then it just trickles down. Then everyone starts wearing wigs.
Okay.
In Paris, the number of wig makers went from 200 in 1673 to 835 in 1768. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's a big.
Sure.
Now,
Also,
hair is.
and we don't need to get the word out about the syphilis. Just let's wig it up.
Yeah, that's right. And hair is harvested from the heads of rural working class people, as it
should be.
As it should be.
As it should be.
You should go
Let
cut
them live with the shame of
That's
baldness.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, I'll have his hair and a bit of his. Thank you.
And then you give him just like a penny or something.
Here you are. Good luck with everything.
There you go. Fuck off.
Fuck off. Sorry that hurt so much.
So King Charles II of England also gets into the French wig fashion. He did it to cover his prematurely graying hair, also probably from syphilis.
Okay. Oh, great. Wow. Syphilis.
Yeah, you go gray from syphilis is
cool.
fucked. It's like it's COVID-y.
It's cool. That's awesome. No, that's great though. So you got that Raiden hair. That's
right.
awesome.
So he then brings the trend to England. And they're same thing. The nobles, the people in the court, they start wearing them. Then the merchant class starts wearing them. They cost about a week's worth of wages for just a normal dude in London. So that's
a
a
week's
lot.
worth would be a week's wages.
A week's. That's why they called it a wig.
Exact, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so most people can't afford that, obviously. But British nobility would spend over like 800 shillings on just crazy wigs, and that led to the term bigwigs. That's where the term bigwigs comes from.
Hot shot royal family.
Hot shot bigwig.
Yeah.
That now in 800 shillings then is about 10,000 today. So these people are spending 10 grand on a wig.
Wow.
So wig guilds.
Wow.
Got to unionize.
Wow. With the WGA.
So wig guilds forbid anything but human hair wigs.
Okay, so they're right. So they're basically like, we will take them off of other citizens.
Yeah.
And other people are like, would you like this one made from dog?
That's right. Well, not everyone could afford that, so they also people would make them from horse or goat hair or they'd slip it in.
Sweet goat hair.
Well, imagine a horse, like if you didn't go to the main.
I feel like yeah, right. But I feel like I've seen like wigs or like things made from horse hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that over the years. Goat hair, I don't think because when you like
it's not that bad. Goat hair isn't that bad. Have you ever seen a goat with long hair? It's not that bad.
I guess I'm picturing these kind of little. I mean, I only hang out with shitty goats.
Yeah. I mean,
I like those shady goats.
I hang out with top.
I like
of
an
the line
alley
goats.
goat.
Sure, but I'm more like a.
Oh, you're hobnobbing with.
Yeah, elite goats.
Yeah, most of the goats I hang out with have syphilis.
Okay. How'd they get it? Okay. So at this time, people didn't bathe. This is pre-bathing. So cities are filthy. People are filthy. Now, people think that if they get sick.
It's good for me to hear. I'm so down on society now. Like, this is so refreshing to hear that everyone's walking around in horse wigs, syphilitic, the pieces are dropping off, and they don't bathe.
That's right.
There'd probably be no better time to be bathing than right now, it seems.
So people thought they could get sick from bad smells. We've talked about that before. And the wig would trap all kinds of odors.
Sure.
So you're walking around the city, there's the smell, and it's just going into your wig. It's like when you go to a club and they're smoking and you have a jacket on, well, then your jacket smells. Except it's different. It's the smell of the death in city. So people start scenting their wigs.
This is fucking nuts. What the hell? God.
Violet, rose, jasmine, orange, lavender, just pumping it in there. Nobody thought to wash it. No one was like, we should wash this.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was like.
Yeah, you can't because it's hair. You could easily wash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Nobody thought of that.
No, so people are just lavendering up these BO. By the way, that smell, that BO scented smell, like you threw some rose water on a fucking BO. It's like, guess what still smells horrible?
Oh, it's the worst. People did rub their hair with a napkin to, quote, dry it from its sweatiness and filth.
And they're just in private, just sort of dabbing around with a napkin while they're just sitting there with their weird patches and sores, open sores.
Yeah. Ugh. It's nice. Almighty. So periwigs took on their own sort of social thing. Specific styles were appropriate for some professions, but not others, right? So it kind of becomes a thing. And the same
You would
went
have
for
like hairstyle association with your occupation.
and the same went for people's place in society, right?
So what is it like?
Like the fancy long ones were for the tip-top guys.
And then what are the
shorter?
shitty-
You'd have like a shorter, normal-looking one, and that would be
Okay.
more, your lower,
Right.
You're a merchant or whatever.
Sure, you're okay. So there's a wig echelon. Sure.
A goat would be like the guy cleaning out trash.
Got any more rubbish? Don't mind if I do. Where we all clubbing later then?
Yeah, it's it's not.
I'd love to hang out a bit.
No, it's no.
If
we're
you
not.
smell that smell of mint and shit, that's my wig, but it'll
Yeah, we
get
know.
better as the day goes on.
No, it won't.
It's just, you can't wash hair, you know.
Why are you talking to me?
I would like to be friends. You've got a lovely
No.
wig, and I really would love to be hanging out with people in a wig circle of this nature.
No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I'd love to be your friend, maybe.
Wrong.
Do you mind if I dab the inside of my wig for a minute while we're having this
I
quick...
do.
Well, hold on, let me just take
Oh,
it off for a
fuck
minute.
me.
Don't worry, it's a bit of brain. Bit of brain never hurt anybody, did it? There we are.
It has, and it does.
Can't
Yeah.
remember which way I'm supposed to put this on properly. Is it like that? Does that look right? Hello, yes. So what we doing later then? Dinner? Yeah. I've got syphilis really
No,
bad.
I know.
Yeah, I'm dying a lot. But you can't tell, can you?
No, I can't.
Yeah,
That's
you
the thing.
barely notice, eh?
No, it's very obvious.
Guess who's got syphilis?
You.
Yeah, you wouldn't know by looking at me, would you?
No, very much so.
I've got to have another dab inside it. Sweating so bloody match. Oh, Christ, the worm's in my head.
All right, got to go.
Ah, I'm going to remember your home. Come back.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Syphilis knows where I live.
Yeah, that's my name.
So, the fancy ones, they became like the rich people, the fashionable ones become bigger and more decorative.
Right. It's kind of like what happened to hats,
Yes.
but with wigs.
Curls and bows, and
Right.
they're harder to keep up. Also,
Introducing the wig. A wig for your wig.
Also, a very nice place for insects.
Oh, God. So it is like buggy?
People who wore wigs had a lot of lice.
Oh, my God. So your life, if you have syphilis,
Yeah, go ahead.
your life is just a walking nightmare.
It's not great.
Your skin already hurts, your hair's falling out, you have sores, and then there's bugs involved.
But I also feel like
By
everybody...
the way, what a great situation for a bug. It's just like, hey, cool, look at that, living tissue right in here.
I also feel like everybody probably had lice. Like, I know that... I mean, I would think that everybody would have lice and everything. Like, how would you get rid of it if you're not bathing?
I mean,
like,
you'd shave your head, but then the status
yeah, you can
drops.
shave your... There were lice combs, but whatever.
Lice combs.
Historian, and they still have those.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they
that's the
work?
thing. Yeah, now...
Probably in conjunction with other treatments.
You can't get rid of... Lice have become immune to the stuff you used to put on to kill them. So now you have to go... There's lice... It's called hair fairies. There's a franchise where you go if you have kids that get lice, and they comb. And I know a couple of people this happened to, and they have to take them out by hand.
I would just go to a capuchin.
Why not suicide?
Okie dokie, that got dark.
Yeah, I know someone that they have 2 kids, and twice they got lice, and they had to go to that place.
Twice
And
lice.
once one person in the house gets it, everyone in the house gets it.
That's what's cool about it.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a rip.
Anyway, that's modern day.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the gross times.
Yeah.
Quote, this is a historian, Andrew Duncan, quote, "The existence of lice was rife within a wearer's wig, coating the hair in such disgusting numbers. It was recommended people use combs to get the lice out, but the hairstyles of wigs were so fancy it made combing them impossible. On the other hand, their actual hair was so full of grease and dirt that it was much easier to style a wig. So it's a real big trade-off.
What is going on?
It wasn't a good time.
Oh my God.
Pre-soap, pre-regular baths, everything is, and toothpaste, everything is horrendous. It's all horrendous.
How would you? I could not imagine getting syphilis because there's no chance I'd want to bang. Can you?
You
I mean,
would, though, because it would be normal. You'd be like, that's just what we do.
oh my God, the smell. Oh, can you imagine the?
No, I can.
Oh my God, Dave.
I bottled that.
Dave.
Fashion was a big deal in King Charles' court. Everyone wore boots and fancy leather circle ribbons on the toes, just all kinds of giant hats, huge collars, cuffs, slash sleeves, and of course the wigs, right? And Puritans hated this.
Okay. Okay. They've been pretty consistent.
And when Puritans came to America, they brought that hatred to America.
Right. Cool.
But the Massachusetts colony, as it became more established and more non-Puritan people started arriving, like that became
the
an
Whig
issue.
culture became...
Well, they're like, so the Puritans first get there and we hate all the fancy dress, we hate it all. And then other people start rolling and going, that's not that bad.
Right.
So it's
they don't like it.
And the Puritans came, they got upset by these new people, and they wore things like wigs. Puritans are always still are.
So annoying.
John Eliot considered wigs to be an attack upon his religion.
Oh, can you... a wig, it means a slap in God's face.
Yes, that's what.
Yeah.
As they grew in popularity...
God would have given you hair if he wanted you to have it.
He said, quote, the lust has become insupportable. Like,
insupporable?
Like you just can't get rid of it. Like it's just...
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I thought you said insupporable.
It was insupporable. It's not insufferable. Insupporable, which means you're not going to be able to beat it. It's just...
Okay.
Insufferable is like...
Yeah. It's also insufferable. Nah, fuck you. Okay. So he's mad about the screwing.
Yeah.
Right.
So wigs are also like a symbol of growing a consumer society.
So
right?
It's like blue jeans.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like blue jeans, right? Yeah, it's as people move to the colony, it also becomes harder to know where neighbors and acquaintances and business partners are from, because there's supposed to be a social hierarchy, and now people are just dressing the way they want.
Right.
So
lines are blurred.
Before,
so you used to be able to basically know someone's deal based on appearance.
No, before you knew someone's deal because you had personal knowledge, or your family had personal knowledge of that person. But now people are moving around the globe, and a lot of people are moving in a lot of places, and so you're meeting new people.
Right.
And
it's like the world was going to college.
And so, but then people are coming and there was a way that you recognize everybody, what their status was through clothes and possessions.
Right.
But if you dress a certain way, you belonged to a certain group, an appropriate social circle, and all that. And then it also meant the poor and other unworthy people, look like that. But now with wigs and fancy clothes, you could come to America and roll in and be like, no, I'm rich.
Yeah.
I'm a rich guy with a wig.
Right.
So
a lot of people still do that.
Yeah, I mean, and so this became a big concern for the Puritans. They're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Because now you don't know anyone's deal.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Puritans in New England wanted to put an end to all that nonsense. And in 1634, the Plymouth General Court banned many of the fancy fashions.
Okay.
But wigs were not banned.
And this is in America.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've come to this land for all their freedom, and right away they're like, yeah, no, there'll be a uniform.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they don't ban wigs, but they hate them. Like they're all against them. And then in 1649, the General Court of Massachusetts passed an order condemning the wearing of long hair by men because it was contrary to God's word.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, God.
When you think of Jesus, think of how short that crop.
Oh no, he had like a buzz cut.
Yeah,
like he was like
Jesus. Yeah.
When I see Jesus, I'm like, is he in the Marines? Like, what's this guy's deal?
When I think of Jesus, I picture Oliver North.
Total Oliver North, ripped as shit.
Yeah, ripped.
Tats.
Nice bullets.
A bandolier.
He's got a bandolier. Uzi.
Knife in his mouth.
Yeah, that's my Jesus. Yeah.
So,
how easy an argument to win, though? What about Jesus? I think that's the worst argument to religion. You're like, but what about Jesus?
Yeah, it kills everything that they...
Remember the guy that's all based around how he's giving and like non-judge? Remember that?
Yeah. So long hair's out. It's contrary to God's words. The court entreated all elders of the jurisdiction to manifest their zeal against it. So they're like, okay, everybody
Let's sit
go
in a
out.
circle and really shoot mind lightning at their hair.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll get
No, it's
'em.
mind lightning.
Get
yeah.
mind lightning at 'em.
Or eye lasers, either one.
Eye lasers, do it.
No, so they're saying get out there and give everybody shit who's
Yeah.
fucking wearing wigs.
Right.
Come down hard on these dudes. So
Yeah.
it's peer pressure to get out the wig, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 1654, Thomas Hall wrote a treatise titled "The Loathsomeness of Long Hair."
Yeah. I mean, you worry about what happens when people don't have anything to fixate on, but this is not one of those situations.
He said it was against the civility of America, and it followed the Spanish and French, quote, who are yet known papists and idolaters. So,
So he's I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, again, it all kind of forms from this biblical, like, you've got to be true to, it's religious. It's,
yeah, it's really, and there are a couple places while reading, there are a couple places in the Bible where it says men should have short hair. It's actually
Sure.
in there in a couple places, but who knows?
Where's
The
that
way the
snuck
Bible
in?
usually works is another place where it's like, dude should have long hair. Like it's all the thing's whole thing.
I can't
a mess. It's a
imagine
mess.
being, here's your human uniform. The Bible, a fashion guide.
Harvard became a concern because many of the students were going to go on to be ministers and they'd be setting moral standards for the next generation.
Right.
So in 1655, Harvard forbade students to, quote, wear long hair, locks, or four tops. I have no idea what that is.
That was a band, the Four Tops.
Right, the four tops. Nor use curling, crisping, parting, or powdering their hair.
So really, I mean, this hairstyle is whatever Jesus picked that morning.
They want everyone to look like Danzig.
Bedhead.
Like, this is a Danzig time.
Everyday bedhead.
Yeah.
Whatever you look like for the day.
Yeah,
What about
I mean,
brushing your teeth? Isn't that against
Well,
God's will?
there's no-
Didn't God want that yellowy film to form and that stinky tongue to exist?
The only thing you could do is lick your palm, and then
you
rub
use
it on your hair.
Saliva's the Lord's pomade. I've always said that.
God's witness.
God will decide what ye look like. If he wants you to have stubble, you'll have stubble, a beard. Let him form you. We are all God's Barbie dolls.
God likes a very short trim with a Crockett and Tubbs, if you will.
When it comes to pubes, he loves a big old bush.
Oh, God loves a big bush.
Let it roll, boys and girls.
And I like to put my face in there and just...
It's taken a turn biblically.
Sorry, I said I. Did not mean to say I.
It's still weird either way.
Okay, let's all hold hands.
Well, I think we maybe need a better segue.
Let's touch each other's
That one first one works, actually.
special part.
Nope.
I feel alone.
All right.
So, the people of Roxbury is right near. Is that in Boston, Roxbury?
Yeah, but it's in Massachusetts, yeah.
Okay. The people of Roxbury petitioned the court because the Harvard college students were gallivanting around in their long hair. So, in 1972, it doesn't matter. Like, they passed this thing at Harvard, but still the kids are like, I like my wigs.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, who doesn't? And they said all the students, quote, lust for long hair, first took head and break out at the college. I don't know what head and break means, but it
Wait,
sounds...
what is it? What's
they
that
first took head and break out at the college.
They first took head and break out
right.
at the college?
That's right.
Okay.
You got a problem with that?
I'm big time. I'd love to know what it means.
I think you give someone head and then you go, whoa!
Whoa, surf's up.
And then they said from there, their long-haired bullshit was spreading out to pulpits and causing grief and offense in the area.
What is the year when religion learns to not put things in the spotlight because it makes people want to do it?
That's not going to...
Okay.
Puritans like Samuel Sewell, a judge and printer in the Massachusetts colony, believed the wearing of wigs to be a gauge of moral character.
Sure.
He attended Harvard. He graduated in 1674, and the wigs, he saw it as a representation of the corrupt world that Puritans hated, right? It's everything. It's corruption. It's everything. It's everything bad.
Right.
And when
normal. Everything seems fine and normal with this person.
Yes, he's totally normal.
Yes.
When wigs first came to New England, they're not the flamboyant version that's in elitist England at this point. They're more modest. They're smaller.
Okay.
But still, many Puritans are upset by him. But years later, right now, they've been in America for a while, and they're becoming more fancy.
Is there any association to syphilis anymore? Is this now just purely cosmetic?
There has to be, but it became a fad
Right, I
when
know
the kids
now it's
started wearing it.
right.
But sure, I think it helps syphilitic dudes
Right.
and I assume ladies. Like
Right.
you can throw a wig on, but now everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
But I would think those things have like a weird symbiotic relationship, right? Like so many people are getting syphilis.
Still at this point.
Yeah, of course, everyone's syphilis
rampant.
is not hasn't gone anywhere.
I was hoping it would gonorrhea.
Dollop
I
be
wish
right
there was
back.
a bell we could ring.
I would love a
Ding,
bell.
ding,
I've been-
ding, ding.
I've been requesting a bell. Aaron, come on.
So Puritan said wigs were, quote, many times used for disguise by the worst of men as shaven, crowned popish priests, highway robbers, etc.
Popish,
Catholic priests.
right?
Because they're Protestants.
Yes, but still, I mean, bury this hatchet. There's not
It's
too.
not-
It's,
it's
there's
not.
enough arguments
It's
about the
still
invisible
not.
human in
It's
the
not-
sky.
it's not going anywhere.
Come on. Yeah. Okay. So they're very. It's a slippery slope
Yeah.
with the wigs. Soon, you're putting on one or two just to have a little fun.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're Catholic,
Right. That's how it works.
and that's not good.
Now, this quote I just read, the shaven crown, popish priests, that was, of course, from the famous Puritan Nicholas Noyes essay titled "An Essay Against Periwigs."
Nicholas Noyes.
Yeah, he wrote
I love that comic.
Yeah, he wrote a really great essay against wigs.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Well,
I just love some guy sitting down and being like,
I'm
"All right,
so pissed off about wigs.
fucking wigs!
Disgusting. No.
Do you think the band Rat wore wigs?" He also said, quote, "The hair of women is suitable to their soft, moist, cold constitution, but not the masculine, hot, and dry constitution of men."
So he's like the Ben Shapiro of the 1600s.
So, yeah, that's right. So to him, women are wetter and softer, and so hair works on them better.
Women are obviously soaking wet fish, and men are dry husks. I'm Nicky Noyes.
This wig wearing would create. He said the wig wearing, the man wearing the wig, which shouldn't be on him.
Of course not.
because it doesn't
It's against-
jive.
yeah, obviously.
He said
He's dry, Dave. What's he going to do with a wig?
He said it would create an unnatural inconsistency between the face and the hair, and that it was like the monstrous locust in Revelation 9:7.
Nah, wow. I mean, and again, like, I'm not saying the other arguments I've heard are cogent and good, you know what I mean? But this one is particularly, like, not anywhere close to good.
No.
This is like, this would be a disappointment. This would be a flop. This flops.
Yeah, this is not great. And also, if someone says this, you're like, what about just like calming the fuck down? Like, what about?
I
Like,
can't calm the fuck down. Think about it.
No, I
Listen to me. A dry man
Yes.
wearing a wig, his face embryos are going to bleed up into that, and then that will cause him to have a moistening. Therefore, metamorphosis is happening. Next thing you know, your friend is no longer a man, but he is a wet woman.
Okay, so we talked about. We think you should take a break.
I'm not taking a break.
I think you need.
I'm
a
doing
break.
some of my best work. You've never seen Nicky Noyes this hot. Chicka chicka.
Yeah, no, we saw you this hot before. It was when it was the shoe.
I'm sorry. I just can't believe men would wear laces. What are they, foolish idiots? It'll turn them into trolls.
Okay, but we went
Nicky
through.
Noyes on the ones and chicka chickas.
We went through the shoe rage.
Yeah.
that was
Shoe
great.
rage is not done yet.
It feels like
I've seen some lace boys out here today I'm not happy about.
It feels-
Unfortunately, there's bigger fish to fry, and these ones are made from goat hair.
It feels like you're getting just as hot as you
Nicky
did.
Noyes getting just as hot and the booka chicka pa. Yeah, I am. That's right. I'm hot and I'm pissed. Okay? You are supporting a movement that is terrible.
I'm not.
They are going to listen to me, dumb shit. Okay. They are going to have hair locusts. Am I the only one here who's reading Revelations? Is it Nicky Noah Chakapaka?
Yeah, no, we're all reading it. We all
Are
get
you?
it. Yeah.
Are
we
you
get it.
fathoming it?
We just
Because I'd
don't-
love for you to fathom it.
I don't see the connection between wigs and locusts and revelations.
They are gonna put on the. I'll walk you through it. Take my hand through the valley of stupid where you live. They are gonna put on the wig, and then they're no longer gonna be dry guys. They're gonna be wetties, and then that's gonna create a condition where the locusts, much like in Revelations, come out and start eating on them. If you want your friend, you're gonna need him to be like cool, okay?
Yeah.
Chicky Wan, Nicky Noise.
Just go ahead and send them in. We'll just go ahead and take them away now.
Ah,
Okay.
take me away.
Nothing, just why don't you just hang out here for a sec?
I would love to hang out here.
And
Plenty of men to shout at.
some
There's
gentlemen-
one now.
Some gentlemen are going to come in and help you.
Great. Oh, hey, what's up, fellas? It's me, Nicky. What chicka ba noise?
Now, Sewell helped get the writings of people like Noyes out there because he was a printer. He soon became the official printer of the colony. So he held sway, but he was also like
The My Pillow
really-
guy, let's just say.
He's also really against wigs. Yeah, he's the My Pillow
we
guy.
got our My Pillow guy.
He's on Harvard's board of overseers. He's on
Oh,
the
what
colonies.
by the way, Harvard, bravo again in the name department.
He's on the colony council of assistants, which is like it's like judges and legislators together.
Sure.
And he's also a judge in his own. He's very influential,
Right.
right? And he's a big wig.
Oh,
Whoa.
Aaron, where's the bell? We requested it months ago.
So to the anti-wig Puritans, the fight.
Anti-wig. There are times when we'll be in the middle of these, and I'm like, just think about what just got said. It's been normalized because you've led me here. But I mean, the anti-wig Puritans.
Yeah, it's. So
By the way, think about how much they eventually wear wigs.
Oh.
I mean, they just go crazy.
no, I know. So I mean, they're not winning this battle they're fighting. So
Right.
to them, it's mostly about age and gender, which they thought had to remain very defined,
Sure.
couldn't be disrupted,
Right.
or the entire physical, social, moral, or order of society would just be
Right.
destroyed.
They're like the Wigsboro Baptist Church.
That's right. So wigs are serious business to them. Like it's a real fucking concern.
Sure. Dave, I did not mean
It's
to
a problem.
I didn't mean to downplay it. I think it's serious.
Well, you did downplay it.
I've had
didn't
some
you?
fun, but obviously I think it's a serious thing.
Well, it's no fucking different than the communists.
I agree.
Getting into fucking Vietnam
I
and
agree.
the dominoes
I know.
start goddamn
There we
falling.
go.
It's the same thing, but it's wigs,
I
isn't
agree.
it?
Let's just go back in. Okay, the character of Gareth is going to have fun, but I agree. This is serious shit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So Richard Godbeer,
What
who
is?
the best named person ever.
I am Dick
Godbeer.
Godbeer. Hello. You know what you should make? What? Potato chips? What's the deal?
Fruit.
I'm Godbeer.
Yeah, I mean,
Drink ale upon me.
I would never stop walking around doing that.
Hello, Godbeer, getting some water. Should be Godbeer.
So this is Godbeer's quote. Wig wearers upset indispensable hierarchies and threatened to confound the distinctions between men and women without which a virtuous and orderly society could not survive. So that's really what they believed.
Right.
Wig wearing was seen as a unique threat. Also, God had made man with hair, and putting on a wig was to say God's work
There
was
we are.
bad.
Right. It's, yes, we cannot note him.
No, you do not note God.
He is the publisher and the author.
That's correct. But not all Puritans are on board. Especially the first generation of Puritans who came from England were super against wigs and fancy dressing. But then the second generation, their kids,
Right.
actually start to embrace these, degenerate ways,
Dirty.
wigs and
Right,
clothes.
Right.
Cotton Mather was a Puritan minister who
These
was
names are really getting spicy. Cotton Mather?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Godbeer. And I'm Cotton Mather. We're Puritans.
He's a minister. He's born in the colony in 1663, so he's second generation.
Mm-hmm.
His father was a well-known minister named Increase Mathers. Mather, sorry.
Do we want to take a break?
Increase
How do we want to handle this?
His name was Increase Mather.
Increase Mather?
That's right. More Mather. More Mather.
his
More.
name-
Give me more Mather.
Oh, I was
Give me
like,
more.
and I'm more Mather.
No, his name is Increase Mather.
Uh-huh, that's right.
Increase it.
All right.
Give me more.
All right.
Take it up a notch.
Okay.
Increase Mather. One more Mather. Give me another Mather.
We're
Can
breaking.
you increase that a little bit?
I don't
Can
want
you give me
to.
more?
It's shaking.
Take it to 11.
It's shaking.
Increase Mather.
Oh, my God.
So he is, Increase Mathers, really against wigs, which he called horrid bushes of vanity.
Now I'm
he was popular.
Increase Mather.
Wordsmith.
Yeah, decreasing.
Increase blamed the recent burning
Who
of...
was like, someone like heard Increase and was like, that's actually a pretty good first name.
Names
We need to increase the agriculture. Hey, I'm going to go for a walk for a minute, boys. I think I know what I'm going to name baby Mather. Increase.
Do you think they named him that because he was going to grow and get bigger?
It will increase.
You can't go wrong if we name him that.
Yes, it's possible. And this is growing sharp.
So Increase blamed the recent burning of Boston on wig wearing. So he's like, look, we're wearing wigs. That's why the fucking city burnt down.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because the Lord kindles
Yes.
fires because of wigs. Wigs are kindle fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Cotton was good friends with Sewell, even though, right, they're on the opposite side of the wig battle. He was born 10 years after him, so Sewell was first generation.
Okay.
Cotton saying they hang out in the same circles, have many of the same friends, they eat together all the time, and they talk politics. But the only place they never agreed,
Wigs. It's broken up a lot of great friendships.
Cotton wore a long brown curled periwig that emphasized his big nose.
So they also were a little
show that shit off.
feature. Yeah, I think that's right. I want to showcase the beak.
Oh, I have a big nose. I wonder what else
Yeah.
I have that's
Big hair.
big.
Yeah.
Instead of a wig, Sewell wore a skull cap to hide his bald dome and keep it warm.
So Sewell, but God didn't
I know.
God didn't give you a.
But they're thinking like, well, it's hair, so
You're fabricating reality,
Yeah.
whereas this is just sort of you have a bald hat. Okay.
Cotton went as far as to defend wigs during a sermon.
Oh my Lord.
When Sewell heard about it, I wouldn't even say Sewell heard about it. Sewell, he would read. He thought Cotton was an amazing minister, so he would read his sermons.
Right.
And he liked them so much that sometimes he would bind them in leather and give them to friends. Like, you should read Cotton.
But he believed probably strongly in the separation of church and wig.
That's right.
And he's not going to like it if you're throwing in a little bit of your wig stuff.
So when Sewell read it, he said, quote, I expected not to hear any vindication of periwigs in Boston pulpit by Mr. Mather.
Oh, decrease, Mather, decrease.
Decrease, but Cotton's definitely not alone. So there's a lot of pro-wig guys, and this means anti-wig Puritans would run into a lot of resistance in the Puritan community when they try to rally people against the dangers of wigs.
Christ. How hard, if you're a Puritan, you agree on so much shit. This is basically like Republicans and Democrats. You know what I mean? It's just like, look, just fucking move on. Talk about something different. Figure out something else. You all agree on tons of crazy shit. This sticking point, it's a wash.
So as far as the age argument, they said wigs destroyed the order of things. Covering gray hair or baldness could create chaos in a society because they valued respecting the old and wise.
Sure. Well, what a great indictment on your feelings on other generations of people. You see, we'll accidentally respect people.
No, they're saying they wouldn't respect anybody.
No respect, yeah.
No respect.
Right. Yeah, no, so it's the land of Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, I tell you, there's nobody here who's got a wig on that works, huh? I gotta tell you, there's nobody here to respect. Everybody's so youthful looking.
So old age is supposed to be revered, and they're supposed to instruct the young and counsel them. But with wigs on, they became, quote, ridiculous and contemptible.
Yeah, that's right. You don't know who to respect anymore.
Could you imagine if your dad put on a wig? You'd be like, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
Sir, you stay, don't know what to do.
You didn't even know who was old anymore.
Imagine.
It's just so crazy.
It's like Beverly Hills.
It's just like, well, yeah, you'd still Frank under the wig. It's not like there's a fucking 500,000 guys cruising around Boston.
Right, yeah,
There's
right.
hardly
Yeah,
any-
you know everyone.
everybody knows each other.
right.
Of course, men wearing wigs was also unmanly. This is the gender part, right?
Yeah.
Womanish and effeminate.
Right.
Puritans worried that if a man became effeminate in one respect, that could spread to others.
Right. And then let's kick that can further. Next. And, you know.
I wonder if that's, amazing that in 2021 we're still having the same argument just about.
Truly.
Yeah. I mean, this is trans people. It's the same.
But it's
they literally had the same fucking argument about wigs,
right?
And they've lost so much now. They're just down to that.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, they can't fucking stop doing it. They're like, well, I'll end if this thing happens. And it started with wigs, and now we're down the fucking line.
Never ends.
So Reverend Wigglesworth.
What? He better be pro fucking wig. Reverend Wigglesworth, if he's anti-wig, then he should not believe in God. The Lord started my last name with wig. He hath cursed me to a life of pro.
He said long hair was a, quote, token of women's subjection, while short hair was given to men as a natural sign of his rule.
And I want to be, I want to go from now on as Reverend Zworth. I want to be known as Reverend Zworth. I'm cutting the wig out. Or no, it would be Lizworth. I'm going by Reverend Lizworth.
We were thinking about calling you Wigsworth.
No, fuck off. I mean, no, please don't. Whoops.
Yeah, you really, that was, we're
You
Puritans.
blasphemed.
We're Puritans.
I'm Reverend Lizworth.
You're an ass clown.
Well, Reverend Ass Clown it is. I hate wigs.
Noyes said that if it was, quote, a shame of a man to wear long hair of his own, it was much more shameful to wear long hair of another's body, and especially of women.
And I maybe you mentioned this, but as far as growing your own hair out, also not okay?
That's also not okay, but it's not as bad as the wig. The wig shit is bad. But really, they want you to have a nice tight cut.
Sure, right. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Also, women who provided hair for men's wigs were guilty of becoming more like men.
Right, of course. That's a
they cut
very
their hair
simple
off, right?
connection. Yeah, so they're, look, sorry, ladies, the goal here is to grow it forever. I don't know what your deal is, trimming.
Are you going to a dude ranch?
Good Lord.
And women who had their heads shaved completely were no better than sheep or goats.
Pitched popular shit. Has ever thought of that? Like going after like things that are, you know what I mean? Being like, we're pro swearing. Like what, you know what I mean? Like embracing something instead of just being like, hey, we're the lifeguards of fun.
And women who had their head shaved completely were no better than sheep or goats. Noise, quote, a woman degrades herself unto the rank and quality of a beast when she submits to be shorn as the beasts are.
You know, what's amazing is the person who thinks immediately to start comparing a woman to an animal, it's probably not the person you want just speaking on behalf of women.
No, also it's, just to put this out there, it's a fucking haircut.
Well, I don't know. That's a little simple.
Another Puritan went further and said a goat's hair was taken involuntarily, so the goat was not as bad as the woman who gave permission.
Hey, asshole, ever eat meat? Have you ever eaten meat, prick? Have you ever eaten meat, you prick? Have you? Oh, well, I'm prick. Blah, 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 blah.
You know, you're actually taking from the Lord if you think about it.
It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, what are crops, dickhole? Are you supposed to just eat your fingernails forever? Is that the goal? That's your meal?
Your life is drinking your own piss and spit and living off your fingernails and eyebrows.
Yeah, there's some nutrients.
That woman was, quote, more goatish or at least foolish than the goat.
I would literally sit there with a dumbfounded look on my face for 2 seconds and just walk away. Be like, God, man, I just got so much dumber from this guy. That's why the lady is a goat.
So in 1675, when war with Native Americans broke out, Puritans wondered what had brought God's wrath upon them.
And God's wrath here being the fact
The war.
but the war that they're waging.
Well, it's a two-way war, obviously.
Sure, it's the white man's renaming tour.
It's not a great, it's not a, when you go to war, you're not like, what if,
Who
did this to us?
We're going on a war to discover things that have been found.
So they decided that one of the causes was clearly, quote, men wearing long hair and periwigs.
I hope you're happy.
Well, look what you've done, long hairs!
Another fine mess you've gotten us into.
Some pointed out that the long hairstyles looked a lot like Native American hairstyles.
I mean, but what is the
Do you see they both? Well, then wouldn't that be natural? If
Yes,
the Native
right.
Americans, wouldn't that be a natural hairstyle?
Yes, but what are they? I mean, like, what is God? What, like,
God
is
gave
life-
scissors to people for cutting.
But also
two
put-
things: your hair and your bush.
But also, like, I mean, whatever. I obviously, like, at this time, the version of God is, like, still probably pretty close to what he is now in people's heads, where it's just like this, white man God.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have to also approach the fact that if God put hair on your head, and that, like, there's also other people here.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't.
It doesn't
seem
work.
Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't all jive.
No,
Like the
there's-
rule, you keep inventing the rules.
There's
It's like
nothing
when you
about-
would play, like,
but-
when you were a kid and you'd play like the shooting game, and someone would be like, "I have a bulletproof face." You'd be like, "Well, now there's no I don't even know what the rules are anymore. There's no rules."
But also, like, what you can wear clothes, but not
Yeah,
wigs.
I mean, yeah, right, exactly. So you can wear clothes. You can't take a goat's hair, but you can eat a goat. You understand? This is where we live.
It's just so. Some pointed out that long hairstyles look a lot like Native American hairstyles, and wig wearing had to be stopped, or the nightmare was going to. This war was going to
Obviously.
continue.
Yes, of
Yeah.
God's pissed.
So Cotton Mather reminded his fellow Puritans that it was just an innocent fashion and questioned the threat of the wig. He's like, guys, it's actually just something we like.
So
And
can we calm down?
It's probably not causing the war. What probably
Nice.
caused the war is we killed some of their people,
Foolish Cotton.
and then they killed some of
Foolish
ours,
Cotton.
and then that started.
Foolish Cotton.
Okay, it was more about us
Fantastic for
encroaching
making
upon their.
clothes.
Okay,
Good to absorb things.
Okay.
Really likes to suck up dumb shit. Cotton.
okay. I'm just saying.
Cotton.
Okay.
Loves to soak it up, doesn't he?
They
Cotton.
killed us. We killed them. That's why we're at war.
Or maybe it's because you have hair on your body that's not yours.
Okay.
Idiot.
This is a good talk. This is what.
It's a bit COVID-y, too.
That's exactly what it's like about when you're debating climate change on Twitter. That was
Yes.
it.
Oh, I'll tell you. It's always fun to...
So the Reverend Samuel Stoddard preached in favor of the periwig. He argued, quote, God allowed man by art to supply the defects of nature. So he's like, look, he gave us this ability.
He's right, but it's also stupid.
It is.
God is pro-ish wig. No, he's got the fuck up.
God's up there like, guys,
seriously, do so many other things.
You're so off
so
base.
many-
You're so fucking off
Lord,
base
thank
right
you
now.
for finally coming down. Maybe you can finally set some of these fools straight about wearing other people and
Okay,
animals'
just hear me
hair.
out.
No, let me finish.
No.
God. Oh, okay, I guess you
What
should
in the
go.
fuck are you doing?
You're right, go ahead.
Why do you give a shit about fucking wigs?
Well, Lord, you would not have put us on Earth if
I
you didn't...
wanted you to live in harmony with the
And
animals
we're
and nature.
We're trying, but some people are wearing wigs. Mucking it up for the rest of us. That's the next goal. The next thing we're going to do after we get rid of wigs is live in harmony with nature and animals. But before we do, you got a bunch of wig-wearing assholes.
I can't believe
Please.
that I have to watch this shit for 400 years until you get to microdosing. I seriously cannot fucking believe
Oh,
it.
Lord, what am I... Is that hair-related, Lord? Your words are so wide.
I put mushrooms all over the place.
We would never eat anything.
No, there's good ones. Go
Lord,
out
you
there.
wouldn't want us to.
Just nibble a
It's
little bit
embarrass-
every day.
You don't want us eating things
Nibble
that
a
grow.
little bit every day
Lord,
and calm the fuck
Lord,
down.
Lord, but first, Lord, please set the sinners right about the wigs.
Nobody
You've come
gives.
all the
I
way-
don't give a shit about the
Lord,
wigs.
Lord,
I
trust
don't
me.
fucking care.
Have you even read the Bible?
I wrote the God. It's all my
I
words.
want to give it a read. Lord, they got, I don't know if you met Noise on the ones and twos, but he reckons that's how we're going to get revelations out of the wig.
He's a fucking idiot.
No, listen, Lord, but you made him too. So the locusts will come from the hair. Women are too wet, and you made men a little dry. No notes. We love everything else, but men are too dry for wigs. Tell them how you made men dry so they can't wear wigs, Lord. So far, they don't meet your deities, is what I'm learning. This is a bit of a letdown.
Okay.
Come back soon.
That went pretty good.
So some guys just said the wigs were there to keep their head warm. They're like, no, I just have it because it's cold.
And they were like, but the Lord made the temperature.
But the woman did do. In November 1675, in response to wigs causing the war, the General Court passed laws.
What the fuck?
One authorized courts to proceed, quote, either by I can't fuck this word. It's not. I don't know. I can't. It's all jumbled. So, fine or correction against the manifest pride openly appearing amongst us in that long hair, like women's hair, is worn by some men, either their own or others' hair made into periwigs. So they're basically saying the reason that we're at war and we have to correct it is the long hair wig thing. And they passed a law. They passed a law.
Oh, good. The court, that's good. See why it's good to lead with religion
That's
when
right.
it comes to law?
That's right.
Yeah.
In 1679, 3 men were brought before the Essex court for wearing wigs, and they were convicted and admonished. That might have been what the word was.
Okay, but when you're admonished, is it
I
simply
think
a public
it's
shaming?
a scolding, I
Right,
think. Probably a public shaming, yeah, I would imagine.
Right. You've been very bad.
You're a naughty boy!
You're both bad.
But the laws, it didn't put a dent in wig wearing. Massachusetts is becoming more worldly, especially after it became a real province in 1691. So wig wearing is only continuing as the colony becomes richer and more cosmopolitan. So Samuel Sewall and his anti-wig buddies were always at war with wigs.
What about a life? Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't a life be fun too? Maybe meet someone and have a life. I mean, think about it. You get a plot. It's so easy to get a plot.
You gotta have a focus. You gotta have a focus.
Yeah, I'll settle down once I get fake hair off of everyone except women.
In November 1685, he scolded a public notary for, quote, cutting off his hair and wearing a periwig of contrary color. So he's just yelling it.
Right. I mean, what? I can't. They had notaries then.
I know. I don't fucking get it. I mean, I guess it makes sense because a notary would be more important then than it is now. I would think because notaries now it's just bullshit.
I mean, it just seems like forgery and fakery was.
I mean, there's
so
nothing you
easy
can do.
then.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, people probably have. This is a letter from.
You just said you were a doctor and you were a doctor. I mean, surely being a notary, you were just like, yeah, I have a candle, so I'm a notary now.
Not that everyone wanted to be out front in the fight against wigs, even though they're against wigs. John Higginson, a minister from Salem, gave Sewell a document he wrote called A Treatise Against Periwigs.
Okay. Jesus.
At first, he told Sewell to do whatever he wanted with it, but then Sewell was like, I'm going to print it and distribute it. And then Higginson was like, he said that, quote, he would not have done it while he lived. He's like, nope, not while I'm alive, man, because this wig shit is hot. It is a hot topic.
So he writes this thing, and it's kind of just for him. And this guy's like, this is great.
It really takes on wigs, takes wigs to task.
Sure, as it
hands
should.
it to the guy who's the biggest printer in the colony, and that guy's like, I'm gonna fucking put this shit out there. And then he's like, no.
So
after I die,
he had a viral wig letter.
Yeah, but he was like, it's too powerful, man. And then people are gonna come at me, and I'll be a wig guy.
So this guy really believed in his stuff too. He's like, man, look. You can't print this. It's perfect.
So, it's just so fucking...
It's cool. It's totally cool.
So, that's because as much as one group hates wigs, another group loves them and wears them and defended them. And
but I mean, again, it's like... It's not even like anti-religion necessarily, but when you draw your weird line in the sand, it is going. You're putting a big spotlight on something, and you're going to attract people who don't believe in your theology. That's just like way to get at you.
Yeah.
So it's like say if someone were to change your name and like give you a shitty nickname, and then like that nickname caught on. You know, the thing to do would be to pretend like it didn't disturb you and bother you, when in reality it's just you hate.
Yeah, it's your wig thing. It really doesn't
it.
matter that much, but you hang on to it so fucking tight, and it becomes your wig thing.
And it's also one of those things that once you let someone know that it's a problem for you, they can inflate it and use it to hurt you because they're demonic.
Yeah, that's also a problem. I mean, you've given them power with a word.
They've taken power.
It essentially has no meaning.
They've painted you into a corner.
Like, you are who you are. A name is actually irrelevant. You as a person.
I agree, but there's this level of respect.
So, all these other guys are defending themselves. They're saying wigs keep us warm. They look good.
Wigs keep us warm is the best
It's
one.
the best.
I mean, it reminds me of the I can't breathe with my mask on.
Yeah.
I'm on their side, but it is very.
It's a little.
Come on, it's a little cheap.
When Toll went after John Hayward, he said he wore his wig because doctors had told him to. So it's a medical wig.
See, it's a medical wig. You know what I mean? Come on. I mean, again, you're forcing people's hand into this.
You are.
I mean, it's weed. It's like, all right, fine. Yeah, I medically need it. Is that helpful? Can I go get high in my home now, you asshole?
Andrew Belcher took a jab at Sewell by saying his was for warmth and nothing else was appropriate to wear to a wedding.
What? I mean, come on.
Come on, it's my wedding wig, bro.
I have a wedding wig.
So now we got medical wigs.
Medical wigs.
We got
occasional
wedding
wigs.
We got warm wigs.
Right. It's pretty good. It is. I mean, it's weedy. It's very weedy.
Some thought the wedding wig comment was an attack on Sewell's velvet black cap, which was considered now a fashion faux pas.
Cap.
His black little skull cap.
Right.
People think it looks stupid. They're like, that's idiotic. And he's like,
well,
it keeps my head warm.
While they're walking around in what are probably absurd wigs.
Yeah.
They're like, you look like an idiot. He's like, I literally, please.
And he wore it everywhere for all occasions. It didn't matter. And it embarrassed his friends. Like, his friends were like, fuck, dude. But he's bald.
So.
I know. But he's bald, but he's running around saying, this is how God made me.
Right.
Well, then take off the fucking skull cap.
Yeah, right.
And they all think the skull cap looks dumb.
Right. I'm sure it did.
Some said maybe the Puritans who hated wigs so much should focus on things that were more serious.
Name one! Name one! By the way, we should never have said that. We should have always been like, God damn, you guys found the perfect issue. Then they would leave all the other stuff alone.
Yeah.
Instead, now they're like, oh, you don't like it when we're in charge of your body, huh?
During a sermon, Cotton Mather said, quote, one sign of a hypocrite was for a man to strain at a gnat and swallow a camel, to be zealous against fashion, taken up and used by the best of men, and yet make no conscience of being guilty of great immoralities.
Sorry, I literally stopped at swallow a camel. What does that mean? What is that?
I think he's saying you're taking something small and making it huge
Big.
and like choking on it, kind of. Like
And we're all sucking a camel's dick.
Okay, the sermon got weird today.
It's in Revelations.
Sewell, after reading that sermon, wrote in his diary, quote, "'Tis supposed he means the wearing of periwigs." Like,
So he's like, it's tough to figure out what he's talking about.
he's just being sly in his little diary.
Privately snarky.
Oh, I guess he means the wig.
I hope I remember how to read sarcasm.
Now, I don't want you to think Cotton Mather is a good guy, because he wanted Puritans to focus less on wigs and more on stuff like witchcraft, magic, and devils.
Right, that's what I was sort of saying.
Right, that's the thing.
It's
like, these wig guys are fucking idiots, but the other guys are like...
But it's dumb. It's like a dumb, stupid
it is
thing,
dumb.
whereas like the
it's
witchcraft
dumb
thing
except
is,
for the gender shit, which that's where it gets really bad.
It's bad, and I mean, obviously, like, that stuff gets way worse.
But witchcraft is also gender shit, and they're
it's
killing
just,
you.
And you die. I mean, it's just, they've got a lot more fire water crazy in that. You know, this is more like a, it's obviously bullshit, but it's like, you know, you always would rather them chase the thing that is the stupidest.
Yeah, that's true. So Cotton had a big role in the witchcraft case, so-called witchcraft case against Goody Glover, who was convicted and then executed.
Right, convicted. And we sentenced you to a horrible witch hunt.
The wig fit on her head. She's a witch.
Yes.
He also wrote a book that some said was responsible for the Salem witch trials.
Right.
So in 1692, Sewell was one of the 9 judges at the Salem witch trials.
And those were kind of like the voice judges, right? They would spin their chairs around.
A lot like the voice
right?
judges. Witch!
Yeah. If you
Not
think she's
a
a witch, turn around.
I'm sorry.
Adam Levine turned around. She's a witch.
I really like your spells, but I am going to have to say no.
I'm really evil. I swear to God.
I just don't see it.
Look at the port.
The spells, I don't think the spells are there.
I could be worse.
Maybe next year.
You said that last year.
Well, I mean, come back with something. Do some magic, you know?
I tried to, but the cat ran away.
Get a devil partner, you know? Do something.
Jesus, it's just like I'm getting older, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not witchy. I don't feel I'm not scared of you in any way. You're
Okay.
just, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for the note.
Yeah.
See you next year.
Oh, exit this way or this way?
Yeah, the left.
Okay. Oh, the woman said this way.
Okay, go ahead.
Which way's the waiting room? Because my family's out there.
Cotton was not a judge at the Salem witch trials, but he was present at the executions, and he wrote a letter to the Chief Justice congratulating him on the executions.
Way to go.
Job.
We really did something good today.
Nice job with the kills.
Really good.
Sewell would later say he regretted being a part of it, while Cotton continued to defend the witch trials for years and sounded like he actually wanted to have more witch trials.
Sure.
He's like, let's keep doing this
Right.
shit. So that's who they were, right?
Right.
So in June 1701, Samuel Sewall, it might be Sewall, but was informed that his own minister's son, Josiah Willard, quote, had cut off his hair, a very full head of hair, and put on a wig.
Oh, my Lord. So, and that's particularly offensive because
imagine-
why are you replacing what you just had with fake? There's no rationale that actually...
Imagine how fucking angry he is. He hears that his minister's son, he's just putting on his fucking buckle hat and his square buckle and his black pants, furious. He's going to go take care of some business. He walks down the street to his minister's house. And the wife answers and I would like to see Josiah.
Give me Josiah. Move, woman.
He then demands to know, quote, what extremity had forced him to put off his own hair and put on a wig.
Oh, he goes right to the
He
kid.
goes to Josiah.
Right, okay.
And Josiah's pretty straight to the point. He said, well, nothing forced me to do it. Quote, he said his hair was straight and that it parted behind. So he's like, I don't like how it's
I mean, we're not allowed to use product. It's pretty hard. You guys have really created a pretty hard situation, to be honest, hair-wise.
It's God's way!
Yeah, but he gave me a butt cut in the back. It's kind of bizarre.
That's totally what's happening here.
Yeah. You may not use product and don't divert from the plan of nothing.
He said, look, the wig lets me have a more fashionable, elaborate look. So that's his reason.
Right.
And this guy's like,
Yeah, he's like,
flipping
it's
out.
cosmetic. And this guy's like, blah, 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 blah.
And then he's kind of like, yeah, I'm not really interested in this. He said, quote,
It's a bigger conversation.
and then he goes, look, men might as well shave their hair off their head as off their face. He's like, why are you shaving off your face and not your head?
Because, it's a great point.
It is. It's a great point.
Yeah. Or cut your nails.
Sewall responded, half of mankind never have beards. So he's like, women don't have beards. Like, he's
got nothing.
He's just flailing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
he's just a dumb asshole. And quote, I told him that God seems to have created our hair as a test to see whether we can bring our minds to be content at what he gives us.
Again, I'd go back to the face. Feels like until you answer that, there's no more arguing.
So he's saying Josiah has failed God's test and put on a wig. He's
Right.
saying God.
And
God
Josiah goes,
fucking-
why did you shave yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
So Josiah was planning on becoming a minister just like his dad, and Sewall told him to do that, he had to set an example and teach men to deny these things. His wig would prove, quote, displeasing and burdensome to good men. Mm-hmm. And he then reminded Josiah that Josiah knew wigs were bad because Josiah had been at a meeting where wigs were condemned by the ministers of Northampton. So what he's saying is he's now playing the employer card. So he's like, oh, you want to get in the biz?
Right.
You remember all the fucking ministers that said wigs are bad and you were in that room and now you're going to wear a wig?
Right.
You want to get in this business?
Right.
You play it by the fucking rules.
Right. Oh, boy.
The minister...
Oh, God. It's just amazing how, like, if you think you're his messenger, the Lord's messenger.
Oh, God.
It's just, there's no...
You just get to say all the
everything's
bullshit.
a crusade.
Yeah, everything.
You are allowed to do everything and anything you want.
Yeah. So after that, Josiah backs off, and then he indicates when his hair grows back, he'd stop wearing the wig.
Okay.
Is Sewell done?
No.
No. A couple of days later, he goes to talk to Josiah's dad about this crazy wig. So he goes to his minister, the kid's dad, about this crazy wig situation.
2 days stewing over it. The problem basically was, what better resolution could he have?
Yeah, it's solved.
Yeah.
His dad...
I'd like him to grow his hair back fully today.
His dad is super happy by what transpired. he thanks Sewell for waking his kid up about the dangers of wigs.
Sure.
And said Josiah now says he's going to grow his hair back out long enough to cover his ears, and then he would get rid of the wig.
Great.
The minister also said he didn't know, and had he known, he would have forbidden Josiah from buying the wig in the first place. But his mom had known.
Oh, this guy.
He was going to buy the
This is
wig.
like the annoying, nosy neighbor.
But bad news. Your wife,
She did know, so. Oh.
He said, quote, but was afraid positively to forbid him lest he should do it and so be more faulty. So he's like, if she told him and he went ahead and bought it, then he'd be like stuck in it more and wouldn't want to bail on it.
Right.
Kind of deal.
Right.
Basically,
I have a lot of notes for the family.
this is apparently not enough for Sewell.
Still?
He had a hard time forgiving Josiah for wearing that wig.
Buddy, I mean, what do you want? What do you want?
A few months later, Josiah delivered a sermon in his father's church, and Sewell refused to attend. He went to another church for services that day, quote, partly out of dislike to Mr. Josiah Willard's cutting off his hair and wearing a wig.
Okay. Really showed him. Went to another. Yeah.
That was his diary entry. Like, he's writing this shit
Yeah, so.
in his diary.
Right.
His diary is filled with anti-wig shit. Like,
Biblical Karen.
He went on, quote, he that condemns the law of nature is not fit to be a publisher of the law of grace. In 1704, Timothy Clark, quote, took up his wig when he met a group at Sewell's house as they prepared to walk to visit the poor. And so so there's a bunch of guys meeting at Sewell's house, and I guess they're going to go help out the poor.
Yeah.
And then Sewell sees the fucking wig and angry tells him to think about a passage from Isaiah. And the dude's like, I don't know, totally shocked, like freaked out. Because this guy's like a big guy in the
On
town.
his way to
and-
go help the homeless.
Yeah.
He's like, before you do that, think about how you're going to go to hell.
In 1708, Ezekiel Cheever died, and Sewell gave his eulogy and ended it with, quote, he abominated periwigs. So he's
like,
that's
and,
the last thing he said.
I think his legacy will be that he really loathed wigs. He really did not.
It's just crazy.
He didn't like wigs, and I think that's what he would want to be known for.
But remember, wigs are becoming more and more popular.
No,
all
they're
the
not.
time.
No, they're not.
They don't.
Not really. I've actually think people are wearing them less, to be honest. The ones they're wearing are bigger, so maybe that's what it is.
No, they're definitely becoming more
Nah,
people are wearing them.
I'm
more
not seeing
people
a lot
like
of people
them.
wearing them.
Everybody's
I
wearing
don't think
them.
so. Name 500 people who are wearing them right now.
What, 500?
Well, there you go. It seems like you don't have the numbers, so feels like it's going down to me. So I guess I'm doing some good stuff. Yeah. Not so happy now, are you, Demi?
No, I'm not happy or
so-
sad. I just feel weird. 'cause
Pretty
you're-
impressed with yourself, aren't you?
No, I just don't
Pretty impressed with
understand.
that I did. Because it's dwindling.
It's not.
It is.
It's not at all. There's
Well, but
more
I think
people.
if you count, there's less hair on the wigs, and I think that's part of it. What I've been doing.
That's absolutely not true. They're
Well,
getting
what I'm
longer.
saying is that more people aren't wearing them than less they did
are,
before.
Very much. So.
Yeah, they didn't.
Look the fuck around.
You look the fuck around. Why don't you try looking around every now and then? Or are you too silly with all your dumb shit? Just don't be mad that the Lord hates you when he's listening to me because he likes me better. Okay?
Okay, I don't want to be here. I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't want to be here either.
I had to go shave my goat.
Don't shave your goatee too. He's loud
shave my
with
goat.
that.
Put it in piles.
Okay, well, I just want to come by and let you know things are trending my way. So, off I go.
Sewell was, well, I would say attacked for not wearing a wig in 1720.
Attacked for not wearing a wig?
Physically attacked, but Peter Townsend commented about
From the monkeys?
So there's
Oh, the Who's? Oh, yeah.
it's like a town meeting, and at this town meeting, Peter Townsend comments about Sewell's black cap by telling him that he, quote, should get a wig. So in front of everybody,
so now,
he's got his little black cap on, which everyone hates.
And he's already been mocked relentlessly for this stupid black cap.
Yeah, and so he's he's shamed in front of everybody for
Yes.
wearing a black cap.
Right.
Everyone's like, just
He's
put
the
on a wig,
old dude at the country
yes,
club.
he's now the old dude.
He was
at
like,
the country
man, respect the golf course.
Sewell said God gave him hair, and he was not going to start wearing another hair.
But where's his? He doesn't have hair.
He doesn't have hair. but God gave him hair.
And then took it away.
Well, now it's gone.
Yeah.
I assume he said I didn't. He's probably like I wasn't faithful enough, and now I lost my hair. But
Right.
he thinks it's wrong to get some other hair.
Right.
His bald head was his quote chief ornament, is what he said at the meeting.
Good Lord.
So he's embarrassed publicly.
Right.
Days later, a widow that he was courting apparently said she's not down with the black cap, no wig choice. She's like, I don't like the black cap.
And he's like, look, if this happened 3 days ago, maybe.
And yeah, quote, "'Twas inconvenient keeping out of a fashion commonly used." So she's saying, you're stepping out of this fashion trend, and it's not good.
And she's like, come on, quit being a lame-o.
And he's like, I can't get a wig.
You marry me and the cap lady.
So she kicks him to the curb because he won't wear a wig.
But I mean, if he wore a wig, it would have just been like, it's.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
It's just.
He can't wear a wig. He cannot wear a wig.
He cannot wear a wig.
He cannot
It's just
roll and.
morning, everybody.
Hey,
I just.
fellas, how are you? What?
How's everyone's ale? Everyone having a good ale?
No, they're on your head.
Are you enjoying your ales? I was thinking of having one myself, and then.
That's a wig.
Oh, this. Oh. Me? You talking
You're
to me?
the no wig guy.
Is he saying? Yeah, I'm me. Yes, it's me. Sewell.
You hate wigs. You have a wig on your head.
Oh well, I was. It's actually really funny because I'm trying to think when I started wearing it because it's been a while.
Today, you were wearing it yesterday. Yesterday, you had a black skull cap on.
I was wearing the black skull cap yesterday. It's funny because time has just been.
You've never not worn the black skull cap. You fucking yell at everybody for wearing wigs.
Yeah, I mean, I like animated conversations. That's not. Is that a sin? If that's a sin, Lord, cast me down.
You called me an abomination.
How is everyone's ale? What?
You called me an abomination?
I'm curious about the ales, but we'll get into that in a second. Yes, you were an abomination, and I'm an abomination. We're all abominations.
No.
What?
No.
I don't understand.
No.
I'm trying to find why you find this inconsistent, and it's puzzling.
You called my wife less than a goat because she gave me her hair to make the wig?
It's a turn of phrase.
It's not a turn of phrase.
Oh, that's a compliment in some counties.
I
I
wanted to duel you. Again, this is all about fucking wigs.
I mean, okay. If we must, and I'm hoping that everyone's having a good ale because unfortunately I'm not allowed to get an update on that yet. But what I was going to say was that, it's one of the. I mean, I feel like, look, ideally we're not wearing wigs, but like I've always sort of said, I'm a little loosey goosey on parts of it. You know, you can wear a wig from time to time. It's just
no, you never said that.
I mean, I definitely thought it.
You said men shouldn't wear wigs because God made us in a certain way. And if we put wigs on, then we were like ladies. Lady men, you would say.
Hey, let's just do this. Let's just pretend that our lives haven't happened until today.
You're fucking 62.
Do I look 62?
Yeah.
I feel 31.
You
look
don't
at me right
at all
now.
look 60. You look very
Look at this
old.
beautiful
You look like you're about
head
to
of
die.
hair. I
You
look like
you're about to die.
Come
Like,
on,
you look
what are you
terrible.
talking about?
You look absolutely terrible.
I look great. I've never looked better.
No, you look. It's
Look
like 100
I look like a
years
panther. I've got a beautiful, and I might wear the skull cap again. I mean, who knows? But for right now, I'm loving this vibe.
I'm gonna kill you tonight. Probably. I'm
What?
gonna kill
Come
you.
on. I want to know how everyone's ale is.
And then they all cheer.
So what? I look like I'm from Labyrinth. How's everyone doing?
So,
Okay, so he's lost. He's widowed. He's wigdowed.
well, it just
He's
goes on
Wigga.
like that. Cotton Mather dies in 1728. Samuel Sewell died 2 years later. Wig situation unresolved when they
Sure.
died. Despite what a lot of people believe, George Washington did not wear a wig.
Oh, he didn't.
George Washington was a redhead, and he powdered his hair white because white hair was in, and it was a sign of being wealthy and smart.
And then his whole goal was to just never move his gums.
Yeah. Periwig weathering continued until the final decades of the 18th century. The French Revolution put a serious dent in wigs being cool as they became associated with the aristocracy whose heads were being cut off.
Okay, that is a good way too.
Yeah. So
We're hoping that happens with baldness and Bezos.
yes. So there were, so they're like, oh, that's the bad people.
Right.
Or we just don't want to be those people. And
Right.
so
Their wigs were, right.
the Brits turned on wigs when a hair tax was implemented, and they wanted to raise money. So they created a hair tax in 1795.
That's Biden's proposing that for stimulus.
unless you had a reason, like being a member of the royal family or clergy or whatever.
I like that being a member of the royal family is a reason.
I know. One had to buy a certificate to be able to buy hair powder, and it cost the equivalent of $122 today.
So you
and
get a
people use the
license
hair.
for
They use the
powder?
hair powder in the wigs.
Right.
So essentially,
So they're kind of pricing out.
it really quickly just killed wigs
Right.
and hair powder.
Okay.
Wig wearing was gone in the early 1800s, and soon would come the rise of hats.
And then don't worry, gang. We'll get totally crazy on those too. Crazy. It's just, I mean, you know, all of these little wedge issues are so stupid. And they're just totally, I don't think I don't think this was necessarily rooted in that necessarily, that it's like a wedge issue, but it's a dumb hill to die on.
Yeah.
And it's really just like this thing of interpreting God's will and stuff. But even when you think of today, we argue about the dumbest shit, and it does just keep happening. And it's not the most important shit. Like, it's, as far as like people having rights, like everybody should have rights. I mean, that is like pretty much a no-brainer. We need to actually, you know, get people who understand that, and then we'll debate issues that are bigger to our survival on this planet.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the problem with this sort of mentality. You know, I'm sure there were worse things going on at the time than wigs.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not talking about witches and stuff, just survival and, and how do we work with these Native Americans that live here and stuff like that. But it's the same thing now, right? You're fighting over whether or not some person can, because they have chosen what they want to be.
Yeah.
You're screaming at them because they want to run in a race, when in actuality that's almost never happened. You know, they say that I can't win a race because a trans person beat me, and there's like no fucking cases of that. It's like not a thing that happens. Well, they find a fucking, and the wig arguments are the same fucking thing. They find a fucking thing and they scream about it, and you're like, hey, climate change is happening and you're fucking screaming about that?
Well, that's the Lord's will. Yeah, I mean, that is part of the argument. But no, I think that's 100% true. But it is also, when you can't win an argument based on merit and facts, you invent a sky referee. And you just go, he said it, he said it, he said it, he said it. So we got to listen to him. It's like, you don't have, your argument is baseless, useless,
and also they always go back to the Bible, which was written 100 years after Jesus Christ died. So
it was translated. It's like,
yeah,
it's also
if it was written, like, no one knows what actually
the
fucking
way the
happened.
Bible was translated is the way that thing that gives you the text on your stand-up clips works. Like, it's fucking up all over, and it would be like if someone was using those clip texts over and over again to try. It's no longer a document that should be valued.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, and we hold on to these archaic things.
But I mean, let's go back to the fact that the Puritans fucked everything up from the get-go.
Yeah.
This would be such a better country if Puritans had never fucking come here. It's really terrible.
Well, it's a real shame.
Do.
It's a real shame with rampant syphilis that the only group that's not fucking is them. It's like, Jesus, it would be great if the Puritans were just, fucked like rabbits.
Yeah.
But instead, no. Yeah. God gave you a hard cock and God gave you a hole, but those don't belong. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I always think about them killing Thomas Morton, and if Thomas Morton had been able to create his own state, the guy who partied and had the pole and everyone was fucking dancing and fucking. Like, if that guy had been able to create his own state, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It'd be a whole different country.
I mean, we would all live in that one part. The rest would just be nothing. It would just be wasteland with, like, dusty churches that nobody went into. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like faith and believing in a higher power and all those things. It's like, absolutely do it. And, it never gives you a badge to legislate what someone else should or should not do.
I know Christians who don't force any other shit on
Yeah.
other people. They just live their life.
Yes,
right?
they
No
use-
fun.
yeah, totally.
The American Christian is a very special.
Well,
breed
we've baked
of-
into this version of Christianity that it's your task to bring others with you.
Yeah.
And that has fucked it all up.
Well,
because
but not only that, but they've merged capitalism and
Now, yeah,
Christianity,
completely.
and they're just out of their
Oh
fucking
man,
minds.
well, and religion used to stay out of like religion's
Yeah.
whole thing was it was out of politics, and then like Reagan like amped it up, and you know, and then once the church became a voting group and a way to like beat taxes and a way to get Learjet, like you know, it's just become dumber and dumber.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
You know, I mean, and the fact that this country is, you know, anchored by that still, it's like, dude, I mean, you know, we can't, I mean, we should be so far beyond the shit that we're debating at this
Oh
point.
God, it's just
crazy.
it's just fucking embarrassing.
It
the
is a
shit that-
joke. And the fact that it holds such water with a group and part of our country, it's like, you know.
The most amazing thing to me of all is when people are like, trans people can't go in this bathroom, and you're like, motherfucker, you send your fucking family, starting out when your kids are children, into the fucking Catholic Church.
Yeah,
like, what in the
I mean,
fuck are
honest
you
to
talking?
God.
You want to talk about the real fucking
I mean,
problem that
for
happened
fucking
there?
real.
Like, come on.
Truly. I mean, you cannot live in a dumpster and tell me to clean my house.
Yeah. All those fucking Jim Bakers, the fucking rapists.
Yeah.
There's just so many. There's just so
No, it
many,
never ends.
So much fucked up shit that those people do.
And
I
it gets
mean,
covered up, and it's all, and
always,
yes, because it's
always.
a fucking business.
And then they scream at somebody else, and you're like, fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Well, we just attacked religion. I'm sure that'll be a thing.
For sure, without question.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's all right.
I just.
No, because it's not saying you don't support religion, but if you are a huge religious person, you have to understand that other people in your religion are pissing in the pool that you're swimming in.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've talked to Mormons and who've been like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm fucking
Yeah,
out.
who love
I mean,
it, who love listening to Mormon episodes because they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I know, it's... I mean, I never went to church as a kid, and I remember the only time I go to church is when I spent the night at, like, other kids' houses. And, like, I would go there on Sunday morning or whatever.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I'd always be like, what are you doing on Sunday? Be like, this is a load of bullshit.
I remember once I went to my uncle for the summer. I stayed with him and his wife.
Summer Uncle is a new show you're doing for CBS, right?
Yeah, his wife was super religious, and so they sent, my parents didn't know, but they sent me to a summer church camp like every day. That's what I did for like 5 hours, and I just remember sitting there and just being like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is crazy.
no, you need to not really have learned much before you learn about religion in order
That's
for
right.
it to stick with you.
Yeah.
Even then, I mean, yeah, it's, again, you're allowed to believe what you want. Just fuck off and leave us the rest
Yeah,
alone.
leave me alone.
Oil can, oil. Aaron now has tissue stuffed up his nose. So
Right.
for those of you worrying about the health of us, don't worry. And by the way, I'm never going to pray more than tonight, hoping that I don't get whatever influenza Aaron's brought in here.
It's gonna be amazing if he gave us COVID.
Dude, if this is it, imagine listening back to this if we both die from COVID. This will be an interesting listen, so we better keep it in. All right, we sign gods.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bismarck died.
What?
It just said that on Friday.
Fuck.
Friday.